Hey guys, it's Al from Altruistic Channels, and I'm going to follow up on actually the second part of what I did for the intro to how I got onto my journey, as a way to bridge the gap as to how we can interconnect on how to begin your journey and what you should be looking for on a journey, which is so personal, right? Like it's all very much almost genetic code to who you are and who you're meant to be. So a lot of times we can't specifically deal with great detail as to how it will look for you, but let's just talk about what we can or what is relatable to all spiritually inclined people. And first of all is understanding what I said before. So my spiritual journey in the physical world was a little bit hard in some people's eyes, and I overcame a lot. But not as a term to be a victim, but as in an order to empower myself, to believe in myself when there was no really outside influence that could be there for me in that way. I had to rely on self. So in that, I learned to hear the voice, which was the previous segment that I just put up there. And so when you hear your voice, once you've learned to do that, like we did in that one, you come to the question of why is it so important to even voice or to even make that a priority? And the answer is simple. So when it comes to any type of venture in the world, your voice is unique to you. And since no two brains operate the same way, that means that there are no two life paths that are the same way. And so each experience is very important to the grander design or to humanity, whatever you want to look at it as. And so learning how to use it and to utilize it in the right way is probably paramount, more paramount than anything else in the world, because it's a reflection of your entire life experience. So one of the things that we believe in the collective is that we believe in something called and so above and so below. Since we mirror everything and we create everything that we manifest into existence under the guise of reflecting ourselves and where we're at in life, then so too do we reflect the same in the above and so below. So as you go through your journey, one thing that you're going to find is that the power of your voice is superb and sublime. It's a reflection of God or Allah or whatever the deity is you pray to. And so in that way, understanding its value at its core level is fundamentally important. So when you finally hear that voice within you, which is your soul and body alignment, and its progress and trying to make its way down towards God's light and making its way back to its pure form on its path, on its journey forward, the power of your voice becomes so important that it's important to take it in as for what it is. So in any type of situation, we can see throughout all of YouTube and throughout any type of spiritual guidance, you're going to find that you can manifest destiny with what you say aloud. And it's always important to never be angry when you command something into existence, because karma will bite you in the ass. It's a yin-yang scenario, right? Where there's good, there's bad. And though we want to keep the balance between dark and light energy, we don't want to empower negative aspects to be reflected back on us. So your voice becomes that much more solid. So what was once a throwaway comment now has substance, because you understand that the weight of it doesn't necessarily mean it has weight in the physical world. It might bite you in the ass in a cosmic way. And so when you start to balance these things out, which is what you're actually after, you are going to learn that by not using it, you also make a statement. So because we all exist as frequency, as an energy source that all exists from the greater source, there's noticeably times that you may not cast your vote, or not say something, or let someone walk on you, or not stand up for yourself, these are all silent ways that you are energetically telling the universe how you want to be treated. So that's when it comes into play, is in times when you are a young person, you don't want to tell your kids don't stand up for yourself. You want to tell them the opposite. Stand up for yourself and do what you got to do you, because at the end of the day, you are defending yourself, not just on this existence, but also in whatever you believe the ethereal existences are. And whether you're spiritual or not, science already has backed this, that there are parallels that exist in space and time. There's dark matter, so there's all these things that are there for you on a logical stance. But for a spiritual journey, we'll focus on why it's important. So when you place yourself as priority, you can then start understanding where you are coming from and what your voice sounds like. And then you're going to really start looking at the journey itself as to what you believe in, even if it's subjected to change. Like if it's going to change, it's going to change. We're evolving beings. We're not set in stone. And so as a learning being, you're going to learn that you use that voice. So because we know that it mirrors and so above and so below, and then the takeaway from this segment is always make sure that you vote during elections, because you are voting on the group dynamic. So if you take part in the collective consciousness as a spiritual guide, then you cannot not vote, because you are taking away power from yourself. You are literally neutralizing yourself to a 0 point, but not a creation of just, you're making a statement to the world at large. Because when you tap into the collective, you are actively tapping into humanity on a spiritual level. So if you don't vote or don't act in ways that you're asked to step forward, then you are in effect reflecting that upward. And so upward looks down and goes, oh, wait a minute, you didn't make any, no. You see what I'm saying? So you have to hold the power of voice and who you are, and hold it in its proper light, in order to truly walk the path of whatever spiritual life you're trying to lead. At the end of the day, it is the singular most important thing, because if you don't use it, you are denying a pathway outward from what you're taking inward. So there's no flow to you. So if you want to exist as a spiritual being, then I suggest you take the heed that I'm giving you, and always cast your vote when asked. When you're asked to step forward, step up and say what you need to say, even if you are going to pass on this, and you just keep going. But never stay silent, because then you only get silence in response. And that is, in itself, your own manifest destiny. So when it comes down to spirituality, take this away with yourself. Always speak up in every way, in every regard. And that's the important takeaway for this one. So that's Al for Altruistic Channel. Later.